Welcome, everybody. It's another exciting edition of the Sports Hole. I'm your host, Luke. With me, as always, XFL Jim, rock and roll Matty Goldberg. Boys, we're in the dog days of summer. What's going on?
Fucking hot out.
Fucking hot.
We're almost to the halfway point of the CFL.
Oh, yeah. That's usually how I measure my summer, by how many games are left in the CFL.
That's how I do it, because usually when it's actually halfway point, then like college football starts, I think.
When do so they end like right before September or something?
No. The CFL?
Yeah.
The CFL goes 21 weeks. Yeah, it goes till November. It starts in June and goes to November.
Oh, shit.
They do 21 weeks. And
Wait,
then they do 2 rounds of play.
Point.
No, we're almost to the halfway point. This is week 9.
Okay.
Like week 10, 11 is kind of,
I think we got like one more month till we're in the halfway between there.
We got
we
next
got
Thursday.
like 2 or 3 weeks.
Next
We're
Thursday is
almost
the Hall of Fame game.
No. June,
Sorry, I
July,
overlooked the CFL.
August, September, October, November. So it's like a 6-month season. So we're only 2 months in.
We are on week.
Who's the best team this year?
Montreal was number 1 going in. They're tied with Saskatchewan the Rough Riders right now. Both quarterbacks are injured. They're playing tonight, actually. Luke, your boy, Michigan legend Shea Patterson, starting for the Rough Riders.
He's the only person
good.
he's the only like celebrity I've ever reached out to be on the show.
I could see it happening.
Yeah. Well, not before, but maybe before. I texted him on Twitter a long time ago. I never heard back.
What are some other names that we would know? Some casual.
James Butler was big for Iowa State back when they had like a good run a few years ago.
Okay.
Was he a running back?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Yep, running back. McLeod Bethel Thompson played at UCLA. He was like all right during those UCLA days. There's not really a ton of other known people. It's a lot of guys there's a lot of FCS guys.
Yeah.
Guys that played D1. There's a decent amount of guys that played D1, but they weren't like for big schools. Like Willie Jefferson played at Texas. He was a D-end at Texas.
That's a pretty big name.
Yeah. Willie Jefferson was big. Nathan Rourke, when he was there, like he was one of the bigger stars in the MAC when he played for Ohio. He was like NFL buzz. His little brother's got buzz right now.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, just like a couple, like not really a ton. Steven Dunbar, I think, played at did he play at Oklahoma?
Are you doing live streams or no?
So normally you guys should feel honored. Normally I'd be live streaming right now watching the game. Yeah.
I feel honored every time I see you.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And are you in your new place?
I am. This is the new pad. Is this show 2 or 3 at the new place?
I don't know, but I forgot. Can you give me a little tour of?
Yeah, because I showed you. Yeah, the TV right here.
Okay, what kind of cable do you have?
I have the company I work for.
I really would recommend YouTube for sports.
I got YouTube TV, but the company I work for does the internet and cable. I get that for free.
Oh, hell
okay,
yeah.
Cool. Because YouTube, you get the 4 games.
You're on a cable out here, Jim. So I want.
I wish. No, the furthest we are in Arizona, but we're not in California.
Oh, just a little bit further. Come on.
I know, right? And just got back from a rodeo this weekend. Went to my first rodeo.
How was it? How was the rodeo with the lady?
Shout out Cheyenne Frontier Days in Wyoming. It was amazing. It was like a rodeo, state fair, and music festival all slammed into one. So it's like state fair food.
Yeah.
Really good barbecue. And then I had a chicken sandwich with 2 glazed donuts as buns.
Absolutely
amazing.
Do you and your lady get like dolled up in double denim?
Oh, I think I have I'll show you. I'll send you guys a picture of me. I dressed up she got me all dressed up like a cowboy and everything.
Is her nickname Slam Piece?
No, it is not.
You know what Slam Piece is there, Luke?
Oh yeah, our buddy GOC used to use that phrase all the time.
Oh no, that's Steel Toe's the name of his new girlfriend.
Oh, he just calls her Slam Piece.
There you guys. Yeah, I just texted 2 pictures in the group chat.
The guy who's up for domestic assault. His new girlfriend's name is Slam Piece.
Does that mean it just means he's gonna slam her against the wall?
Matty, are you looking at the pictures?
I just got it. Relax, Jimbo.
Oh, I'm on.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Let's take a look.
Complete with that belt. Is that a real belt buckle, or did you just cut out?
I bought that belt buckle there.
I love it.
Still fantastic.
This is Wyoming.
Yep, that's Cheyenne, Wyoming. It was
You
my
brought-
first
you got
rodeo
your
ever.
You brought your best shirt too.
Oh,
Fun.
that shirt. It was a comfy ass shirt.
It's a nice
Rodeos are
shirt.
fun. Rodeos are a blast. Recommend.
How's the hat? You like the hat?
Love the hat. Super comfy. I love how I look in it.
And you're not ready to show pictures of her now.
Maddie, I'm trying to keep her as hidden away from anything online as possible.
That's
When are you,
smart.
She does
gonna
not
live
need-
stream a lovemaking session, Jim?
That's what happened to a couple of
My
guys.
first video on the XFL Gym OnlyFans.
Yes.
A couple of guys in the Dabbleverse brought their ladies in, and it did not end well.
Making
Nope.
love to my wife.
With
They-
how much bullshit I put
Making-
out there, I want everyone I know.
The smart guys hide their women from the internet.
No, I want to
Doesn't
see a
matter.
video where it's like you can hear like Shea Patterson drops back, and then Jim's
Yeah.
just pounding his girl.
How is it like living? You guys, you feel like you're closer as ever?
Have you ever lived
Hell
with
yeah.
a woman before?
Yes,
Besides
I
your
live with
mother?
my
In LA,
ex.
I think you
Yeah,
did.
in California for 2
Yeah.
years.
Oh wow,
We lived
Okay.
together. We lived in 2 years in 2 different apartments. One of those years was COVID. One of those years was 2020.
Ooh,
So
You're
that'll
still
make
lot-
or break
yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, it broke. It broke.
I sent my wife back to New Jersey. I go, no, just go back
Yeah.
to Jersey, and because I was still working and she wasn't. I'm
Yeah.
like, just go back to Jersey, enjoy space. I will stay here and have my, because we're in like this
Intense
cramped
time.
1-bedroom apartment. It was
We were in a
lower
studio.
level.
We were in a studio.
Yeah,
during
no, that
COVID. Yeah,
sucked.
it was
fucking
awful.
nuts. LA that's what prompted us to move out of LA too, was COVID. So
Well, congratulations, Jim. Looks like you had
Yeah.
a great time. And
I'll say to anyone out there, if you can go to a rodeo, my favorite event that I just discovered was even a thing. It's called the
Yeah.
Wild Horse Races.
wild horses.
They're amazing.
yeah.
So what you do is it's a 3-man team,
Uh-huh.
3-person team, because there was some ladies on this one.
Okay.
You the whole goal is to saddle a horse and race it around the track. The issue is they raise these horses to be like as crazy as possible. So literally as soon as they started, one horse just barreled off and drug all 3 people with it.
Oh yeah.
It took them like 5 minutes just to like get. There's one guy like arm wrestle, like just full arm around the neck of the horse and just like slamming it down. And then this other guy was saddling it. They got the saddle on. It just ran the wrong way. They're like bucking while they're running. It was chaos. It was amazing.
Can you gamble on this or no?
There's got to be somewhere you can gamble on rodeo events. You can probably, I mean, at the very least, you can gamble with your friends.
probably some
but
guy under the bleachers taking.
Yeah,
And
bets.
when are you going to
probably.
be out in Cali?
December.
That's a good time to come too.
I think weekend after Christmas.
Oh,
I'm very happy. You seem
yeah.
very
That's
good. Very
I usually
happy,
spend
and,
Christmases in Los Angeles, so that might be a
Nebraska's
good
going to
time.
have a good season. So
Yeah, I'll let you guys know like the exact dates and times of when I'm there. Once it's happening.
Definitely. So just kind of talk about college football a little bit. The apparently with the there's so many changes daily now with college football that apparently there might be no more walk-ons on rosters.
Where did you see this?
So the thing is, because there was a settlement between Dabo is talking about it. You can see the article on the ESPN front page. And there's a settlement that said colleges can't limit the number of scholarships. They can only limit the number of roster spots. So basically you're saying everybody on your team could get a scholarship. So what people think is going to happen is people that would be at a FCS school might just end up taking the scholarship positions at the Power 5 conferences or Division I conferences instead, and you really wouldn't have a chance for somebody with no hype or great tape to just walk onto a team and try to prove themselves.
Yeah.
Although
What
what
the
would probably
fuck?
do is they'd probably have to just walk on at a small school, like an FCS school.
Yeah, but then that's like it's not even a G5 school. That's even smaller.
Yeah, no,
That's just like
I mean, they could possibly go to another like G5 school and try to get a spot, but when you're a walk-on, you can't just blow all your money trying to, you got to pay for your schooling and stuff.
Maybe this increases the talent level of lower schools.
No, I think it does the opposite because, okay, back in the day, I don't think there were scholarship limits. So like the top schools would just give scholarships to everyone just so they wouldn't be playing for the opposing team, and then they put in scholarship limits and it helped even things out.
I don't really care because I'm too old to be eligible anyway, so it doesn't bother me.
It bothers me because like the walk-on feature is like a cool, interesting part of college football.
Fun when a guy Dabo himself was a walk-on at Alabama. That's why he hates this. That's how he got to prove himself and get into coaching from there. Stetson Bennett has got to be the most notable one of recent years.
I had a dream about Stetson Bennett.
Oh, tell me.
I dreamed he was playing football on the Rams. It was weird. Like I was watching a highlight. I'm like, oh, he's playing. But I don't even know if he plays any.
No, he's supposed to be. They wouldn't really. That's the weird. He's the mystery guy. No one knows why he missed.
I think he was on some serious shit.
You think so? I heard it was a mental health thing too.
Well, it's a lot. I mean,
usually that can be type, with some.
It's quite daunting to be a country bumpkin, and you come out of nowhere to win 2 national titles as a quarterback for your childhood team, and then you go to the big city of Los Angeles. I mean, XFL Jim couldn't handle LA too. He had to go back to small town.
7 years is all it took, Matty. 7 years.
He couldn't handle his ass out here. He came crawling back with his tail between his legs. Welcome to the jungle, Jim. You couldn't handle yourself out here.
What are you, with the Jim big boys?
Yeah. The more I'm thinking about this, Luke, this walk-on bullshit.
Yeah.
It's just going to be, you're right. It's going to be more players out of the G5 into like the Power 4.
Yeah.
Why doesn't Jim laugh at my insults?
I'm sorry, Matty. I was reading while you were saying it.
This thing,
I take your insults to heart.
Maddie, this thing isn't very clear, so we're trying to kind of wrap our heads around what exactly this rule means.
Not to mention that, but
it's a very serious sports program.
The transfer portal is going to go crazy because now you're a scholarship player. What if you're not getting any playing time? What if you're not even going to road games?
Can you lose your scholarship?
Well, we don't.
Any player can lose a scholarship.
Nothing's in stone yet. Yeah, so they're saying like they'll probably offer up to 105, 110 scholarships, but only 80 people will travel.
All right, let me ask you a question. I follow Bill Goldberg. His son Gage just signed as a walk-on with Colorado, meaning he will probably make the team, but eventually he'll move up to scholarship. I guess that. So what happens?
Wait. So does this mean we're going to see Vince Russo and Goldberg at Colorado games? And will this be a problem? Will this be a problem?
It looks like it, but he is on the Colorado Buffaloes as a freshman. He originally signed with Duke, and now he's on Colorado.
That's awesome.
Dion and Bill played together on the Falcons, so there's that long history. But he's a walk-on. He didn't sign a scholarship.
Well, they're saying they might not. So again, everything's changing every day. So no one still knows how this is going to shake out. But basically, say Colorado then has another 25 scholarships. And they go, okay, well, do we want to give one to Gage Goldberg? Do we want to invest in this young Jewish man? Or would we rather give the scholarship to somebody else who's maybe playing at like, I don't know, Akron or something? So no one knows. I don't know. The idea is that these guys might end up just having to walk on at a G5 school or a Division 2 or 3 school.
Yeah, or an FCS or D2, D3. Yeah, it just kind of sends every one of these walk-on guys to a lower,
that might be good for the MAC.
No, Maddie,
no, because all the best players from the MAC are just going to be scholarship players at the P4.
Yeah, but if you can't get a scholarship at Colorado, you go to the MAC because you can get a scholarship there.
No, but they're going to give. Okay.
But you're not getting.
No, Colorado's going to have like 20 more scholarships to offer.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Is it clicking now?
Yeah, it's weird. It's happening so fast. Like I was reading an article about.
I didn't even see an announcement. I just saw Dabo was reacting to it, and I didn't even see the official announcement
Dan
on this.
Was defending. They were like saying, that Oregon has the best NIL deals in the country. So it's like there's no way they should lose because they're getting so much money. And he was like, yeah, well, that's not fair to say to us, whatever. That's
whatever.
But like, I didn't know that. Anyways. I just learned that today. I mean,
no, it's Phil Knight. Phil Knight's like 85. Yeah. He just wants a championship before he dies.
It ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
I love the movie Air, by the way. I love that. Good movie. Great movie.
Air Bud?
No, Air. It's about Michael.
Oh yeah, I got that on my list.
You gotta see it. It's great.
I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. Yeah, so again, it's gonna be interesting. The college landscape just never seems to be solidified for more than a week here before we get new rulings and new.
They're kind of making shit up as it goes along because they don't. They kind of don't. They don't know what's going to happen next. They don't know how this season's going to go. They don't know how the playoffs are going to go.
Everything is eventually there. I don't think there'll be an NCAA. This year or
no?
What's that?
Is there an 18 playoff or
12?
12 teams.
12. I mean,
I think it moves to 24 at some point.
2 years, I think.
Wait a minute. Stanford's in the ACC. Like,
yes,
Stanford and Cal and SMU.
Does this make any sort of sense? What's going on? Like, I never thought I would see anything like this in my life.
I didn't. It's funny you said that. I didn't even realize that till the other day, and I saw Stanford.
It's so bizarre.
It's like ACC opening, coaches talking, and then it's Stanford's coach. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, Stanford, like, Cal, and SMU, and SMU's not even getting any conference money.
Maddie, these will eventually. I think these will sort of turn into like the Premier League and the Bundesliga,
There was a time when the Falcons probably were late in the NFL and they were up until about like 95. They were in the West, the NFC West. It never made any sense because it was like the 49ers, the Saints didn't make sense, but they were kind of late to the game. So it's like the Falcons are in the NFC West, and then of course, you change it up. But there was times that teams were in very odd divisions.
Tampa was in the division with the Lions and
the
Norris.
The Norris. I was about to say that Chris Berman.
Yeah,
the NFC Norris division. One of his great things. By the way, Chris Berman, one of the lovers of CFL, the last guy to. Every time we want.
He is a Canuck, isn't he?
I mean, no, he just got his drugs there.
Oh, okay.
He's actually from New York. He was a Jets season ticket holder with his pop.
I think John Saunders is
John Saunders at Michigan State too. But the NFC Norris division. Anyways, it's pretty wild thinking that it's just like. I never knew that California was on the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Trust me, here's what's going to within 5 years, these schools are going to have they're going to be paying players directly. They're going to have salary caps. They're going to have luxury taxes. Yes. It's going to be nuts.
Division soccer like Europe.
What you're seeing is just the slow, full commodified, employee model.
There'll probably be 20 teams that the top 15 always stay, and then the last 5 rotate in and out. So I'd imagine Michigan, Ohio State.
They will never do relegation. They can't. The colleges have to agree to that.
They might.
There's no way the colleges agree to relegation because the money. Michigan, the money involved Ohio is crazy.
State, LSU, Alabama, Clemson, USC.
They'll agree to a league. Those top schools Florida. Will definitely agree to do their own league, but there's no shot they ever agree to any relegation.
Okay, we'll see about that.
The money is too crazy in college sports.
I mean, what about letting the last 5 you can slip in 16 through 20?
I don't think so. I don't think they'll ever be well, what happens if one year Ohio State's in the bottom 5? Now Ohio State's relegated? No, they'll never allow it.
Yeah,
I could see that. Here's what I feel like there could be, more of the G5 schools could sort of hit this tier where they're competing. I think the G5 schools could do that, where they're sort of joining these conferences or the Super League and then rotating in and out based on performance.
I mean, you
the
can
issue
take
is if you do it for the G5 though, like what happens if like a school has a bad year?
Yeah.
And then now all of a sudden that school's relevant. Like
well, also the problem with that too would be is most of those G5 schools do well when they have like a senior led squad.
Yeah.
So even if they do great one year, they're probably going to be back to mediocre the next year because they have to retool and start all
like
over
a team
again.
like TCU. Now they're not conventionally a top 15 team. They're a top 25 team. They made it to the finals 2 years ago. They could like slip in and slip out. They're one of those teams that's like on the 16 through 20. But like Ohio State, look, everybody's due for a bad year. Like Luke and I, we dealt with some bad Jim Harbaugh years. Like the COVID year, they were awful.
Yeah.
But for the most part, like Brian Day can't lose 2 fucking games. The standards at Ohio State are so massive that it's hard for those teams to even slip because you can't keep your job if you slip for 1 year. If he loses 4 games, he's fired.
Well, like USC is one of the biggest brands in college, and they've had some just shit years.
Yes.
In the last, they kind of come and go. Like they basically will be great, and then they'll go on sanctions, and then have a shitty, yeah. And even Michigan's had rough times over the last since Lloyd Carr left. It's been a lot of up and downs too. I feel like you're going to have like whoever the top earner schools are will always be in a certain league. And then you can have like, like you've been having recently, where you have like a Cincinnati can make the playoffs and stuff like that. Those teams might go TCU. In and out. Yeah. Who knows?
The only issue with relegation is like, it still only takes one bad year.
Texas is
that can happen 15. To anybody.
Oh, sure. Just a couple of bad injuries.
But you'll
never get the schools like Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia, Texas.
No,
Oklahoma.
I don't think those schools ever would. I think you'll have another tier like that can compete in the playoffs. Maybe that tier cycles
that one maybe
different people. Yeah.
But eventually I just see it going to where it's like, oh, that's these top 25 teams have their own super league or 24 or whatever, maybe 30 at most. They do their own league. They do their own playoffs. And now they're Division 1A. Everything gets bumped down. And Maddie, when that happens, you won't see me again forever.
That's what they all say.
That ruins my favorite sport. I'll still watch it. I'll watch it from heaven. I'll watch it from heaven, Maddie.
You're telling me if Nebraska is in that top 30 and they start kicking
your soul,
you're not going to watch. I don't buy it.
UFL heaven, Luke.
I mean, there's times
it's different. It's not like actual like
it's just different.
I'm not going to watch this ever again, and I'm always back.
No, Maddie. This isn't. I'm not going to watch it again. This is. I'm going to fucking kill myself.
Oh, Jimmy.
Maddie, college football is my favorite thing on the planet.
I agree. It's sad.
This is terrible.
Jim, if you're going to kill yourself, this is the way I want you to do it. I want you to somehow find yourself at the top of one of the goalposts, right? And find a way to get a hole in you.
Corkscrew
down.
So
you just slide all the way down the upright.
It'll either be that or I'll like carbon monoxide with the El Camino.
Oh boy. That's a classic.
Cool way to find me.
Classic and a classic.
I just hate this. I hate it.
Well, it's just, the thing is it's always been a business. They've tried to sort of.
It has.
They've tried to, at least a business for certain participants in it.
One of the best lines in a movie, North Dallas 40, John Matuzak. Every time you call the game, I call the business. Every time you call the business, I call the game. And that's what college football is doing to us.
It's just, the problem is if they ever were fair to the students, we wouldn't be in this predicament to begin with. we like to, when you're watching college football, you're like, oh, it's the love of the game. They're doing it for the love of the game.
You know what? You also want to believe any given Saturday, and there's not a lot of any given Saturdays. It really isn't. Like, you want to believe in these you want to believe that, like, Ole Miss, like, well, not Ole Miss because they're pretty good now, but like Mississippi State can beat Alabama. You want to believe
that's Mississippi State, who was ranked number 1 in the inaugural college football playoffs. Speak with them with respect, please.
You want to believe that Northwestern can beat Michigan or Ohio State. You want to believe this shit. And it's like, well, nah, it's the rich are going to get richer and the poor are going to get poorer, unfortunately. Like, there's going to be less parity and more like top tier teams, bottom tier teams.
I think you'll see that definitely. Yeah, it's weird with NIL though. You could like grab like a great player on a middle school, but that's going to be all you can pay for, when they can pay people directly too, which I think they've already ruled to pave the way for that. Obviously the richer schools can straight up pay the athletes on top of NIL. I think Shedeur Sanders is making like close to $5 million this year.
That's
something
like that.
Yeah. Like Arch Manning's making like 3 or something. Like he's barely played. All right, he was like the 3rd string quarterback last year. So, all right. Did you guys watch that women's all-star game?
I watched, and it was interesting because, you're watching kind of for Angel Reese and Caitlyn Clark, and then like their team dominated, but the two of them they had good games, not great games. Some girl I never heard of just like lit it up.
Yeah, the girl with the African name.
But it was a fun game, and it's fun to see that the girls got their ass kicked, that the young kids kicked their ass. So that was fun to watch.
Yeah, and then that coach is. These women are terrible. My God, they're just like, well, I'm not answering any question. What do you think? What do you want?
Listen, women are more competitive and more jealous than men. It's just like, it's a weird, bizarro fact. Now,
I didn't know this. See, every time I saw clips of these sporting events with women, they're all like hugging each other afterwards.
No way, man. Like,
they're hating.
A lot of them, yeah.
Girls hate on each other more than men. Like,
but they do. They're just oddly more petty about it. Whereas the guys will just like punch each other.
Look how men treat Wemby. Like, every pro player was like, "Oh my God, this guy's going to be a legend. He's incredible to watch." That's not the Caitlyn Clark treatment. That's not even the Angel Reese treatment. Like, these rookies, they just like, they're so jealous of them, and it's like, you should be happy. Like, what's good for the attendance is great for the game, and you can't handle it. It's so bizarre.
Yeah,
it was fun to watch Brianna Stewart get her shit pushed in.
I know.
Because they also should have brought some of those rookies on the team. It would have been fun to see Angel Reese and Caitlyn Clark on the team. And they didn't.
I agree, Maddie, because now it's like they're almost taking a 4-week break.
And it's also like, hey, you guys aren't the best team. This group of team that took 2 days to put together kicked your fucking ass.
The problem, man, basketball is just like, in the U.S., the men's team is like had all these scares lately too against South Sudan. And
oh my God, they almost lost.
Which is weird because most of those players are like American born, but like
it was a 40-1 dog too.
I'm surprised it was even that. It should have been more, but
they needed LeBron to score.
I don't know why they don't just go, okay, let's just send the Celtics. Any foreign players will replace with LeBron.
I'll tell you this though. I get obsessed with shit. So now I'm super obsessed with the Miracle on Ice story. Like, I'm now an expert on the Miracle on Ice. I find it to be the most fascinating story that, even though it's fascinating, it's more fascinating than people would even expect.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a truth that the line in the movie where they're like, you didn't pick the best players. He goes, I didn't pick the best players. I picked the best team. And sometimes in these all-star teams they have no chemistry, and
well,
they are the best players.
You're putting everyone's like number one option on the same team, and suddenly, so then who's the number one option?
Exactly.
Who does the ball go through each possession?
Well, who's gonna get those tough rebounds?
Yeah, and it's just like send the winning team, and if they're foreign led, then maybe we don't do that, or we assemble a few different people, but send the team that already has the chemistry, that knows how to play together. And I think Boston, I think most of those players are Americans. So like we could have easily, I think the Celtics would have whooped everyone's ass.
Al Horford.
What's that?
Al Horford is from.
Oh, he's like from the Bahamas or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like then you can like just send LeBron instead of him,
but the all-star teams sometimes don't work, and they get like 2 days and they don't practice hard, and it's like fun. There's also like, if you know the Magic Johnson, Larry Bird story, they actually were teammates on like a USA team where they were on the bench. They couldn't start, even though in practice they dominated everybody. And it's kind of like a Caitlyn Clark.
Oh, were they in the Olympics in college?
They were on it wasn't the Olympics. It was like a U.S. team that played against other
Pan
countries.
Am games or something.
But they didn't. They played like 5 minutes a game, and they weren't like allowed to start. And it was like, even though you could tell that they dominated everybody, so they actually played with each other, which is really cool.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
It's a Matty fact.
But also, it shows like let the best players play. Don't fucking just make Diana Taurasi happy.
Well, also everybody wants to see Angel Reese and Caitlyn Clark play, so like let people like see the people they want to see.
Yeah, and they played well as teammates too. It's fun, even though they're all petty. Gets each other. Maddie's boy, Lawrence Taylor, arrested again.
Yeah, my favorite NFL player of all time.
So I'll send you a video. To overlook his pedophilia.
XFL Jim, I will send you a video of him in the 80s. Holy fuck. Like him dominating is like nothing you've ever seen before. But
I mean, he's on an 8-ball of coke each game too, just plowing through defenders.
He's got the best stories of all time.
Yeah.
I bet he does.
One of the best stories is he showed up late to like I think it was like a Sunday night game, and he showed up maybe 10 minutes before the game started, but you can't get mad at him because he's LT, and they like yelled at him. They're like, "You're late," and he goes, "It's not my fault. I was playing golf, and the guy before me was taking a long time." And Phil Sims. Yeah, Phil Sims has, I'll give you one more LT story. Phil Sims had a story where Phil was like super suburban dad from Kentucky. He said he's like feeding his kids breakfast. And he's like, LT called him. And he was out like raging. He had nowhere to go. So he asked if he could go over his house. Probably who knows he was in trouble with. And he's like, LT came to my house at like 9 a.m. I got 3 kids under 12. He's wearing leather pants and a leather vest, and that's it. And like obviously high on every drug possible.
Imagine like that's so fucking funny. So this one was he just didn't register as a sex offender.
I think that one, it could have been an honest mistake.
You know what? That's like if you guys are, I hate paperwork. So that's why I'll never molest a child. I don't want to have to keep filling out,
I'll tell you this,
registering as a sex offender.
He's such a legend. He can kill 100 people and people in Jersey and New York will still protect him.
I bet. I want to get one of those little cross dangly earrings like he had.
He's like Michael Jackson has that kind of impervious thing where you can know Michael Jackson molested 100 young children, and some people be like, greatest artist. I'd pay $1 million to go back in time and see him perform. Greatest entertainer. People always simp for like when you have that level of and somehow LT on the East Coast has that.
Yeah. Well, speaking of other people in trouble with the law, Jonte Porter.
Again?
Well, I mean, like some people just live in a world of delusion. So he's facing federal wire fraud charges and he's trying to go play basketball in Greece. Like he's got an offer to go, and they're of course denying that because he could easily just move there and never come back.
Yeah, get help, buddy.
But like, bro, you fucked up. Maybe if you serve your time, I mean, you could probably get out of jail pretty early and then go do it. But to think you're just going to go play in Greece until they call your name to go to jail, not happening. You fucked up big time, dude.
Yeah,
I'm surprised people are even offering you contracts.
Well, if you can win, you can win, but get help, dude. Like for your own sake, you need to like spend 2 years to go to intense therapy, counseling. You fucked your whole life up. You were given a gift and you fucked it up and you have nobody to blame but yourself. So get help.
I've never seen anything like this. It would be like if 2 of the Ball brothers were in prison and then LaMelo's still doing well, you know, like it's just nuts. It's fucking crazy. The whole family. I mean, the dad's got a DUI recently too. The brother's in prison for taking out people during a drunk driving altercation. I mean, it's just fucking insane.
And the Nuggets shit the bed in the playoffs.
And then they got Russell Westbrook.
Damn right.
That's gonna put him over the top.
That'll be what turns it for him.
Yeah,
I doubt he makes it the full season there.
Well, maybe Porter Jr. can come to terms with things and then you know, get back on track, but he's just dipped in the playoffs so much the last couple of years. It's terrible. Maddie, what's going on in the World Series of Poker?
Well, they had the main event, and we have a lot of controversy because, you know, poker's had about 3 or 4 cheating scandals in the last 5 years, and this is a bad one. So during the final table, the last 2 players particularly, the guy that won, his name was Jonathan Tamayo or something like that. You're not allowed to look at charts and you're not allowed to have people show you charts. There's these these nerds have invented these poker charts where it kind of tells you.
Well, it's full software. It's not just a chart. It's software that's calculating
charts too.
Yeah. I mean, I know the charts, but this is on a laptop. This is not like
what
just
happened was there's this asshole guy that wasn't even in it, but he deems himself as a poker expert and he charges $1,000 an hour to you know, like he's a private teacher too.
To look at his charts.
Somehow he became friends with the guy in the final table or whatever. And during the breaks or in between hands, the guy would go over at what's called a rail. Like you have a rail as your fans are on the rail. And he was showing him charts. So he was there, the WSOP was on hour tape delay. So he was like, this is what the last guy is doing. With these hands, he's opening up this mount. With these hands, they're called ranges. There's all these like poker terms.
Yeah, see, Maddie, that's not a chart. That's full software doing a lot of calculating on that.
Cheating.
It's
cheating to the highest power. The problem is it's essentially like, I guess, Spygate. If Spygate had that much of an impact, it's like you know your teammates, you know your opponent's signals and what they do with certain situations. So you're like 3rd and 6. 70% of the time they're going to do this play and you know that. And that's kind of the information you're getting that you're not allowed to know. And somehow the WSOP let it slide, even though there's like videos of it. Like when you're watching it, you're watching this guy go over to his rail and this guy's got a laptop showing him exactly what to do in these situations. And they didn't know what to do. And now they don't know what to do. They're sitting there. Everybody is saying it's cheating. Every player is saying it's cheating. And they don't know what to do because the guy won the bracelet. And it's like, what do? Do you take it away from him? Do you fine him? Do you suspend him? And why
you probably take it away from him and suspend him?
I say you can't take it away from him because you didn't do anything when it happened, but I think they should suspend him for like 2-3 years and fine him a certain amount of money.
I mean, I watched a video breaking it down, and in on the overhead speakers, they're always saying you cannot you can only you can consult charts if you're not like in an active game, like if you're on a break somewhere, some way away from the and it sounded very clear to me. And I'm a guy who has watched poker at certain times in his life, and I'm seeing this, I'm like, fuck that. I would not even consider getting back into watching, poker again.
It's very sad. It's very depressing because it is a huge advantage. It's also like it's an advantage that the other player doesn't have, and that he was honest about how he played. And it's just something where it probably in that moment, it's like, what do you do? It's hard to call out cheating when it's the moment of your tournament, when everybody's watching. How do you go, okay, we got to turn this into a circus?
Yeah.
They probably didn't want it to turn into a circus, but it's going to anyway. So now you got to deal with it now. And now you don't know what to do about it.
What are some of the other cheating scandals that have happened recently?
So there was the guy this is the wildest one. The Mike Postle one he was getting the feed. What casinos do now is they have a show online where you can watch the best cash players play. So you can watch it on YouTube, but it's like a 5-10 minute delay. But what was happening was he was working with a guy who was doing the video, and he was getting a feed of it live. So he had the feed, the hands in his phone, and he had his phone on his lap. So he was watching, he knew everybody's hands, and he was killing it. And they were like, the funny thing is the announcer was in on it. And he was like, Mike Postle's running like a god here. Like
the announcer knew?
Yeah, he was in cahoots with him. It was actually a woman announcer that was with him that called him out because she was like, this doesn't make any sense. And they fired her ass. And then they realized that he was cheating, and it's the most blatant cheating I've ever seen, because like he legitimately at real time saw everybody's hands. And I can tell you, like,
how was he getting fed? He had like an earpiece or something?
No, he had it on his phone.
He had like an alternate stream of
he had it on his phone.
Oh, Jesus.
In real time watching.
How do they not notice that?
Because he would hide in his lap.
So how do you not notice someone just looking down at their lap?
Well, they finally did.
Jesus.
Poker is funny because poker is like, it's just one sport that has just been plagued with cheating ever since its inception, between like the saloon days when the people would hide shit up their sleeves. And
it started from hiding an ace up your sleeve to now like video stuff, to now signals, to now like charts, to now like it's one of those things that unfortunately that like everybody's going to try to find an edge, and everybody's going to try to cheat.
All right.
I don't like to cheat, so I played fair and square.
Oh, good. You should.
Yeah.
So Bronny James, stinking up the summer league, but wait, right after we got off the show last week, he started to play good.
Ooh.
Now,
you know what he's like? He's like the way people treated Joe Biden, where after the debate, everybody's like, he's got to step down. And then a day later, everybody's like, no, he's fine. They all talked themselves back into the Joe Biden world where like, he had COVID, or he won the second half. Right. He just had a few bad moments. And it's like, nah, he's not. So like, let's try not to talk ourselves back into Bronny James is a legit NBA superstar, even a 10th man.
He's not. I'm not going to get on the
And I said, let Trumpomania run wild, brother. Let Trumpomania rule again. Let Trumpomania make America great again.
Don't pass out, Hogan. Did you guys see this?
I did.
Yeah. This is the funniest shit. Oh my God.
Something in the back of my mind just is telling me that like Alex Stein set this up somehow. It blew my. I was laughing my ass off.
I will, yeah. Like as a non-political.
Did you see?
Person,
did you see Trump's reaction to him? He looked.
Oh,
like
he's
he was
just
in
clapping.
love.
He's like, "Yeah, get him, bro." Like, I mean, it's
very odd because Hogan, his weight probably doesn't carry what it used to. All the scandals he's been in, and all this stuff. That also essentially we all know that his '80s character, where it was like a true American that said his prayers and needed his vitamins, was full of cocaine, steroids, and fucking over other wrestlers. Like, I don't know.
The whole speech was hilarious.
It's just funny. Yeah, I would literally play the whole thing if I had a clip of it. It's just like Hogan yelling, trying not to get a heart attack. Too, like Hogan's still buff too. He's still rocking at 70.
He's gotta be 70 now.
He is 70. Yeah. And I'm just like, this is the funniest fucking shit. That's why I'm like, even if you hate Trump, just sit back and enjoy the theatrics.
Which wrestler should the DNC get now?
The Rock.
This is where they get.
I think the Rock's
Republican. That's like next Trump speech. Then they pan up and Sting's in the rafters.
I was gonna say, right? Imagine at the DNC they're speaking, and then whoever, like, they just have some random speakers. Oh, it's Sting, and they just have Sting up there. Oh, yeah, they should do it. I would love it. That'd be hilarious.
Hogan doesn't want to do the job for anybody though.
Real life is wrestling.
It really it's come to that. That's pretty much what it is.
What I've gathered from this whole like election season is real life is wrestling and real life is college football. Because after the debate, everyone was like, "Yeah, Joe Biden's like a head coach that went after the 80s, just like, yeah, I gave him the vote of confidence. We are fully confident in Joe Biden."
I remember when Tom Landry had to step down, like, you know, everybody was like, "Look, he's a legend. He's been with the Cowboys for 40 years, but like." He just looks like an old man out there, and it's kind of what happened with Biden. I think.
That's what Paterno.
Yeah.
Like it took a whole sex molestation scandal to get him out of there, and they think he was just sort of a puppet to begin with. Towards the end, you know, like
he died real fast after that.
Yeah, it's probably for the best. You don't want to hang out and go through all that.
I think he had a lot of shame and guilt.
I'm sure he did. I don't know. Like, I don't want to get into that, but it's like, those are times where it's like, I think you'd look at a child molester like he's just a diddler, you know, like just a silly, weird guy that likes to diddle. And it doesn't sound so dramatic as like a pedophile. Like,
I mean,
I don't know.
Honestly, though, like, it's like the World Series of Poker. I'm not comparing what that is to raping little boys.
The same thing.
When you try to cover something under the rug and you hope it goes away, it's gonna come back, and it's gonna come back 100. So deal with it when you fucking know about it, and be a man. And that was the problem with Paterno. Like, they knew about it and they tried to cover it up, and they tried to get him out of there, but they tried to cover it up.
Well, the thing is, like, Penn State went through it and they had to deal with it. And then a couple of years later, they're back in competitive again. You know, like you just got to, in transparencies, you know, the best shit, you know, it's just like, okay, let's just take our lumps and try to move on.
You got to own it.
Yeah.
You got to own it.
So, Jim, you got some good news, huh? We, one of our faves were on the show, got married this weekend.
Yeah, Pole Assassin. You guys remember the Pole Assassin?
Yeah,
story?
Recap us on the Pole Assassin.
So I think it was late Tom Herman years, was it? Or was it early Sarkeesian?
No, that was Tom Herman.
It was Tom Herman. They had a special teams coordinator who was dating at the time a exotic dancer named Pole Assassin. And you folks remember around Halloween, they had like a big festival at the house, and her pet monkey attacked some child.
Yeah.
One of the best stories in college football history. Her and the special teams coordinator, literally like yesterday, got married.
Man, I love a happy ending.
Their relationship lasted. I don't know what the status is of the monkey.
Yeah,
but they got married. To my eye.
It makes me very happy.
Where's Tom Herman coaching now?
Florida Atlantic.
Oh boy.
He was the
FAU
hot
Owls.
coach. Remember, he was like the hottest.
Isn't that where
He was
Kiffin
the
was?
hottest coach.
Yes, it
At
is.
least
He followed
Texas.
Kiffin.
Okay, then it might be okay.
I gotta say, even what's his face has done a good job with Texas. I mean, everybody thought Tom Herman was going to be there for a long ass time, and he stunk.
He was there for 4 years, 2017, 18, 19, and 20.
That stinks. 4 years stinks. You get a job at Texas, you want to be there for 20 years.
No, that was like one. Well, that was like, you know, Mac Davis got let go, and then or that's his name, right? Mac Davis, or is that a
Mac Brown?
Singer? Mac Brown.
Right. Yeah.
Mac Brown got let go, you know, after he'd been there forever, and then it was through a series of coaches, you know. And Herman, I mean,
I think it was just, wasn't it just 2 after Mac Brown?
Was it just Charlie Strong, Mac Brown? I think
it was just, and then Steve Sarkisian.
Is that it? Oh yeah, because I forget Mac Brown went longer than I thought. I always thought he was out like in early 2000, but he was there till like
2013 till 2013.
Oh yeah, never mind then. Yeah, I thought he was out.
Then Charlie Strong was there for 3 years. Tom Herman was there for 4 years, and now Steve's been there for 3.
And he's done a good job.
Yeah, I mean, he had one great year.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's done we'll see how he does this year.
Playoffs, beat Alabama.
He's got to put together like a complete team, like good defense.
He's won the conference at least, which is better than either Charlie Strong or Tom Herman did.
Well, we'll see if he wins the conference now, because
to make the playoffs is awesome, and then it's a crapshoot. So if you make the playoffs, 4 teams, it's very hard, and it seems almost a lock to make the playoffs now. Top 12.
Yeah, I mean, winning the SEC is hard. That gives you your lock, but the SEC and Big Ten are almost guaranteed like 2 at-larges apiece, it feels like.
Yeah,
and they get a bye, right?
The at-larges would not. Only conference champions get a bye.
Conference champions get a bye, yeah.
Yeah, only the top 4 conference champions get a bye.
Jim, I watched a movie that I think you will nut over.
Also, just before we get to that, Tom Herman, last year was his first year at Florida Atlantic. 4-8. 4-8. Not a great start.
No. Hook 'em horns, baby. Hook 'em horns.
So, Jim, there's this new movie out with Kristen Stewart and a muscle woman. There's like a muscle woman.
Ooh. Okay, I'm in. What's it called?
Love Lies Bleeding.
I'm in. Let me take a look. Oh, okay. I'm looking at the poster right now.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yes.
I'm watching the trailer. Oh.
Yes.
Oh, is it about bodybuilders?
Well, yeah.
American Gladiator
and murder.
bodybuilders?
And murder. Luke, you are correct.
There's ample scissoring.
This is a true story, right?
That's not a true story.
I saw a show on Netflix about a bodybuilder woman who almost got murdered by her husband.
No, it's not it, but there is murder in this. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not
Dude,
a great
movie. This woman is jacked.
Is there sex?
There's a lot of scissoring, yes.
Is there TNA?
A lot of clam banging.
Yeah, a lot of clam banging.
Is there breasts that are like hard, like just like muscle breasts?
Yeah, you could punch them titties.
Yeah.
Was it also just a good movie, Luke?
I will say it's a fun movie. I think if I was trying to critique it, I think there's some things that they could have. There's a lot of question marks in there, like backstories and things like that they sort of alluded to, but not enough. I feel like there's a different cut of this movie out there that would probably make it a little better, but
maybe
it's fun.
Maybe if there's a director's cut.
It's fun. There's no doubt. Like you could watch it with somebody, eat some popcorn, have a good time.
I'm trying to see if there's anything else.
Ed Harris has a brilliant haircut in it.
He looks great.
Yeah.
I have seen nothing else that this director's done. She did a movie called Moths in 2010.
Moths? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And if you want a good movie, a good creepy one, Longlegs with Nick Cage, now in theaters, is really fun.
So Katie O'Brien's the girl who gets jacked in that movie.
Yes.
Like she's just like ripped. She got really muscular. Go her.
Is she not normally that muscular?
I think normally she's a little bit more like toned. Like she's always looked athletic.
Well, she's a martial artist too, apparently.
Yes. I don't think she's usually like that big though.
Yeah. Oh, she's 35. I wouldn't have guessed that.
She's also in Twisters.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to see Twisters. I know that.
I'm going to see that soon too.
Before we go, I'll just mention that yesterday was the last baseball game of all time at the Oakland Colliseum. Last probably the Raiders played there, the A's played there. We're talking Reggie Jackson, Catfish Jim Hunter, Raleigh Fingers to the Bash Brothers,
Ricky
Canseco,
Henderson,
McGuire, Hendo, Eckersley, Dave Henderson, Carney Lansford. The A's made the World Series 3 years in a row, won in '89, the earthquake year with the Giants. A lot of tradition, and it just seemed like nobody even really noticed yesterday. It's a very sad ending to a great sports city with this kind of.
Why was it the last game there?
Well, they're moving. It got so bad there. They said, "Fuck it, let's bring the A's to Sacramento, where the AAA."
Oh, they're doing it in the middle of the year?
Yeah, it's just.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah,
I thought they were just going to do that next year.
No, they're just like, let's get the fuck out of here.
Oh, shit.
Because it's also like very uncomfortable because the fans are really mad. Like they basically tailgate in the parking lot and then they leave. And it's just like, if you work for the team or whatever, you're not anybody is not really welcome there because it's really hard. It's sad. I mean, it's a place that can't afford the luxury boxes, but when they're popular, they have such a great loyal fans. And I'll even throw in the Moneyball teams. Like, the Moneyball teams are important because when baseball was becoming the rich and the poor, the A's were the one team that could make the playoffs with like a tiny payroll. And Moneyball is not a fluke. Like, there's a lot to be said to that and to what Billy Beane could do with no money. And it sucks. It's sad, but like, hey, Vegas, I love Vegas, and look what they got. They got the Sphere, they got the Raiders. They're a major sports city now. They'll probably get an NBA team really fast. Oakland, they just can't compete. They moved the Warriors to San Francisco.
Yeah, it sucks because the Oakland, I mean, had such a great history of sports teams, and now they have none. None.
There was a great documentary on HBO about the 70s and how Oakland was this like rebel renegade sports city.
No, it was they had cool teams, man.
They had the Hells Angels, they had Kenny Stabler, and it was like this blue collar atmosphere. And we're in the time of luxury boxes, and
I feel like it would have been Jim's dream sports city at one point.
It definitely would have back in the day.
Yeah.
As blue colors,
and I've been to I just like the city too. I like Oakland.
It's a great city.
Jim, what would you be willing to do to join the Hells Angels?
You gotta get your ass kicked.
It's so meth.
You gotta get your ass kicked. Okay,
I'll buy it.
I get my ass kicked all the time. That's a weekly occurrence.
All right, when you're in LA, me and Luke are gonna beat you up.
Fine.
You just gotta take it. Color. You ever see the movie Colors?
No.
Color style.
Blood in, blood out, buddy.
Ooh, I like what I'm hearing.
10 minutes, you just take it.
I like what I'm hearing. I've got one more college football thing. It's just a cool, fun fact.
Yes,
sure.
So this will be the longest college football season ever.
Okay.
With the playoffs and everything being expanded, all that stuff.
Yeah.
The national championship game is the same day as the inauguration.
What?
Yep. The national championship game will be the same day as the presidential inauguration.
Just for our country's temperature, I am not looking forward to the election or the inauguration or anything. I just think it's like
Dude, Matty, it's playing second fiddle to the college football national championship. I don't know what.
I agree.
You know, it'd be funny is like if there was a bad call in the semifinals, like if some team was like, Sarkeesian, like, come on, let's storm the championship game here. Like
that would be funny.
Yeah. Is it on January 6th?
No.
The other thing, somebody sent the video of Deshaun Foster's the new coach of UCLA.
Oh, right.
And his inaugural press conference, he said, quote, UCLA has won 123 championships. And I was like, whatever, that's no big deal. But my friend is like, oh my God. But
100 in football or what?
He just said we won 123 championships here.
I don't know what that means.
Maybe that's like, all the sports combined.
It could be. I mean, they excel. I mean, they won a bunch in basketball, and
I just don't think
it'll also be Martin Luther King Day of next year.
Boy,
so it's inauguration college football national championship in Atlanta.
It might be it might be the last day of America. Who knows?
Big day. That's a lot for one day.
I can't wait for college football, but I just can't wait for my Saturdays and my Sundays, like, to be occupied. 10-hour football days.
Okay, 10-hour. That's fine. That's fine. I was like, CFL's on right now. CFL's on.
I gotta be honest. I can't get into Hawaii. Like 10 o'clock, I'm tapped out.
No, I'm just saying, Matty. The CFL's on right now.
No, I get it. I get it.
Oh, I asked a question because I previewed the Mountain West yesterday.
Yeah.
Where toughness wise, where do you guys rank the Hawaii job?
I
have it as like a toughest 3 job in college football.
You mean toughest to succeed or pressure?
To succeed.
The only guy that did good is June Jones that I can remember.
No. What's his name? Did really good too. He used to coach Washington State, then he got in trouble with all the COVID stuff. Nick Rolovich.
Okay. It's weird because you get so many fantastic Polynesian players, and it's too bad they don't like have one central place to go. That Hawaii would be so fun to like, oh, here come the actual Hawaiians and stuff, and then it's like
kind of all you get though. Like you don't really have that access to the mainland, and like your best players off Hawaii more often than not want to go to the mainland schools. Like both. Like,
well, they do, but they do. They like most of them play it like in the what used to be the Pac-10, with
like
between
Oregon,
Washington and USC and BYU and all that.
I think to succeed, it's one of the toughest 3 schools in the country.
Yeah, I would agree. I also feel now all those kids, like where it was an honor to play for Hawaii, there's so much, go play for the big schools, Tua, go play for Alabama, go play for, these big powerhouses.
Yeah, it sucks. So it would be nice to have like a cool, like just the Polynesian team.
Yeah,
it would be really cool.
But I can't get into that last game. I'm too colleged out.
Oh, I used to love that when I was just a drunk and I'd spend literally 12 hours at a bar. And then just when it's getting over, here comes Hawaii. And there's just me yelling about Hawaii and
there's something about a Hawaii game coming on at like 10:30 p.m. my time, and it's not over till about 2:30.
I will save that for the Hawaiian Bowl because that is the best. If you don't quite get the great lineups you used to, but the Hawaii Bowl would just cap it all off.
The longest day I ever had watching college football was after Hawaii. Then you can watch Japanese college football.
Jesus.
I watched college football so it was in Los Angeles at the time. So the game started at 9.
9, yep.
So I was watching college football from 9 in the morning till 6 in the morning the next day.
Jesus. Were you just taking speed and watching football?
I was working for like the evening portion of it. So I had 2 TVs on at my bowling alley job. We closed up there at around 1. I'm still watching the games at 2. I go home, watching the game till 6.
Jeez.
It's great.
Holy fuck. That's amazing. All right. Anything else you guys want to throw in here before we take off?
I gotta run.
All right, guys. So I'm going on vacation. I think Jim and Maddie will take you through the Olympics.
Quick show.
And what other assorted fun things are going on. And I'll see you guys in a few weeks. But everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week for another exciting edition of The Sports Hole. Bye-bye.